Felix here. Quick update why Monday is going to be fantastic. 3 things you need to know. 1, Mama Yellen is discovering that she has $150 billion in extra cash. Where did she find it? Well, all you lot paid a lot of taxes around the 15th of April, including capital gains taxes. She has more money than she predicted, $150 billion. Why is that a good thing? Well, it means she doesn't have to issue quite as much debt the next few weeks, and therefore there'll be more money gushing and slushing around stock markets. That's a positive. And you might be thinking that's surely a random thing. Well, look at February 2021. That's the last time this happened, and we had a massive, massive squeeze out there. So we're going to get this data on Monday. Trust me, it's going to be good. And Winston told me that, by the way. He found out. Now, the second part is all that extra cash she's got, she's going to spend it. And what is she going to spend it on? Well, to buy your votes. That's what just politicians do right now, and that's incredibly irresponsible. But it offsets the Fed's tightening. So all that money shredding that lot's doing is basically just completely wasted because the government is spending far more than the Fed is shredding. What does that mean for you and me? Again, it means there'll be more demand, there'll be more consumption, earnings will be good, stocks will keep going higher and higher and higher. And again, it's just part of the glorious effort to keep everything pumped up until November to get the good old chap in the White House to be re-elected, who looks a little bit like he doesn't want to be there. But anyway, now, what do we do with that information? What do we buy? Well, there are ultimately 2 things to do. 1, if you are a long-term investor and you realize that this forever bailout is going to keep coming and coming and coming, then you're going to buy the monopolies, the companies that will just continue to dominate their space. So Google owns search, right? Microsoft owns basically software, if you will. Amazon owns retail shopping. And if you keep those guys, they will outsized win because they've got lots of cash, they make lots of money from the high interest rates, and nobody can really compete against them because they're just that large. Cloud business, the same thing. You need massive, massive investments, right? Meta is another example. Basically a monopoly on social media. I'm sure they're lobbying very hard against TikTok, for example, right? So that's one thing if you just have that long-term mindset. The second thing that Winston whispered to me just before I went out, and I'm sitting here with the glorious banks of Hong Kong behind me. That's Bank of China there behind me there, that beautiful spiky one up there, and AIA is up there, the American insurer, and so on. I actually used to work just down there. And in the short term, well, hedge funds have pretty much bought everything the last 3 weeks, especially tech. So tech's not looking particularly appealing. But there is one thing that they've loathed and that they've sold off hard, and that is socks. And I don't mean these socks, but I mean the ETF socks, SOXX, and that is semiconductors. So semiconductors have been sold a lot. I hate it for some strange reason right now. And that's a little bit just the bounce off from the Nvidia highs, Intel having disappointing earnings, and so on. So I think in the short term, if you're a bit of a contrarian like me, we could make some nice money out of Intel. Now, if you watch the trade I did on Friday live on YouTube, we made $650 out of that in an hour. Then you get a bit of a glimpse of how we can do that. But the best way to learn it, honestly, come and join me live on Tuesday, and I will teach you exactly how I trade. 3 steps, works for beginners, and it's incredibly simple. And I give it away. Why? Because you deserve to learn it. And I had the great fortune of working in one of these places where they taught me that, but you probably didn't. So come and learn, come and join me, felixfriends.org/training on Tuesday evening live. I love you for tuning in. I love you for watching. Let me just show you the view here for a moment while I get scarily close. And look at that. Here is a bit of a Hong Kong skyline view for you all the way around. That's a brand new building there, which looks like a rocket. There are some insurers. Down there somewhere is the sea. And down here are some really old, beautiful government buildings, church, and then the mountains, which is where the rich and shameless live. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you a beautiful weekend. Take care. Just explain to me
the banking crisis that just hit. And this isn't a joke. This isn't a fear-mongering video. This actually just happened. Mainstream media, of course, not reporting on it. So, number one, my warning. I was a few weeks off. I said the banking crisis would kick off in March. It's a little later than that. It's true.